Okay, kids, today we're going to review a little bit about hierarchies of quadrilaterals. It's putting quadrilaterals in order. And we formed this chart yesterday. We did this together in Google Meet, and we found out how these quadrilaterals, all the way up to polygons, actually relate to each other. And you always read it sort of from the bottom up in one way. Largest groups are at the top, smallest, most specific is at the bottom. And everything at the bottom below that the arrow points to is actually an example of that same shape. Example, a square points to a rhombus and a rectangle at the bottom. That means a square is always a rhombus and a square is always a rectangle. What's it take to be a rectangle? Four right angles. Have you ever seen a square that did not have four right angles? No. A square always has four right angles. So a square is always, by definition, a rectangle. What's it take to be a rhombus? What attribute? It takes four equal sides. Can you have a square that does not have four equal sides? It's impossible. That means a square is always a rhombus. So a square is always a rhombus, always a rectangle. To be a parallelogram means to have opposite sides parallel. The square always has that. To be a quadrilateral, see, we're moving straight on up, means a polygon with four sides. A square always has four sides, and it's a polygon, so it's all polygon too. So a square is all of these all the way up to the top, all these classifications. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some questions, and we're going to practice this a little bit and see what you come up with. We'll have a few questions. The first one is this. At the top, you see, is every rhombus a polygon? We just talked about a square, but let's look at every rhombus. Find rhombus on here. And again, you're going up. Every rhombus is what it connects to above, not below, but above. Is every rhombus a parallelogram? Yes. And because of that, every parallelogram is a quadrilateral, and every quadrilateral is a polygon. So, yes, every rhombus is a polygon. Just think about it. Every rhombus has what a polygon has. It has the attributes of straight sides, closed, and two-dimensional or flat. Every rhombus does. Let's do another question. Let's do this one. Is every rectangle a quadrilateral? Find rectangle on the chart. And remember, you're pointing upward. Everything upward is always an example of what a rectangle is, okay? Not below. You can't say, is every rectangle a square? Because that's not true. Every shape that has four right angles is not a square. The rectangle that the word rectangle is inside of is not a square right here because it doesn't have four equal sides. So every rectangle is not a square, but every square is a rectangle. But anyway, let's stick to our question. Is every rectangle a quadrilateral? Well, every rectangle is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. And then the arrow goes up from there up to quadrilateral. So yes, the arrows connect. So a rectangle is always a quadrilateral. See how easy it is to use this chart? On your assignment later today, I want you to use this chart. This will be very, very helpful for you. Let's try another question. Is every square a rhombus? Look down at your chart, find square. Square points right up to rhombus. Can you have a square that's not a rhombus? Rhombus, like I said, has four equal sides. Every square, you can't draw a square that does not have four equal sides. If you did, it wouldn't be a square. So the arrow points from square to rhombus, so a square is always a rhombus. How about this? Is a rhombus always a quadrilateral? Find rhombus on the chart, and if the arrows connect to quadrilateral, and it looks like it does, rhombus to parallelogram to quadrilateral, yes, a rhombus is always a quadrilateral. And that makes sense. A rhombus always has four sides. It's a four-sided polygon. You can't have a rhombus that does not have four sides. Not four equal sides, but four sides, like a quadrilateral. And let's try another one. Is every rectangle a quadrilateral? Same thing. You move from rectangle and you're moving up in line and it connects the arrows to quadrilateral. So every rectangle is a quadrilateral. And then let's try this one. Is every trapezoid a parallelogram? Every trapezoid a parallelogram. Look at it for a second. Excuse me. Find trapezoid on the chart. Does it connect to parallelogram? No, it doesn't. Remember, you have to follow the arrowheads, okay? Trapezoid points to quadrilateral. It does not point down to parallelogram. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral all the time, and it's also a polygon all the time, but it's never a parallelogram or anything below that, ever, okay? The same with a kite. A kite is always a quadrilateral. Kite always has four sides, and it's always a polygon, but it is not a parallelogram. Neither of those on the side, trapezoid nor kite, are parallelograms. And now I think you're ready for the 10-question quiz on Quiz and it's listed as, I believe, hierarchy of quadrilaterals or quadrilateral hierarchy. Good luck. I know you can do well.